What is up, everyone, and welcome back to another solo leveling Arise video. My name is DFree, and we have a ton of awesome data mines we're going to be covering today. Shout out to Alpha Leaker over on Twitter and the Mass Duel for retweeting it, so I found it, by the way. Also, if you guys aren't following me on Twitter, now is the best time to do so. Actually, always is the best time. But if you have any questions, any memes you want to send me, if you just want to talk to me, you can follow on Twitter at DFreeDBZHD over in the bottom left corner. Also, I want to kind of announce that we are doing a giveaway. So click the link in the description, download Marvel Strike Force, reach account level 20, and when you follow me on Twitter, send me a screenshot of you at account level 20, and that'll enter you into our giveaway for your choice, $20 on either Android or iOS. So again, link down below in the description, follow on Twitter, let me know, send me a screenshot, blah, blah, blah. You got it. Just rewind it if you didn't. Okay, so previously, we took a look at the data mines for Haein and Alicia, and so for today's video, we're going to take a look at their further data mines, a look at them in the game. So what I'll say is data mines are not finalized, obviously, until character kits come out in terms of like officially being launched or released or publicized by NETMARBLE themselves. Things are always going to be subject to change. Quick disclaimer. So the reason I say that is because we'll see something here and maybe they'll change the modifiers, etc., so it just will look a little different. The character may function a little differently. But what I'll say is, if I remember correctly for her, she was designed to be a crit-based character doing a lot of critical hits with rate and damage. So she's going to be insane. Her and Alicia both look amazing. Speaking of looking amazing, both of them also have amazing in-game models. She looks really, really cool here. I think they did a great job. So there's her weapon, the Sword of Light. Increases the user's basic skill damage by 5% up to 20% at the max. And then when this user uses a basic skill, increases critical hit damage by 8%. Whoo, critical hit damage up to 2%. Not great here. The 8% is at max, but I mean, I still kind of don't care because she's got a lot of crit with the brands and stuff. So she's going to be a monster. Here's her stats here. Total power currently is 31k. I mean, this kind of is, it just means that she probably doesn't. Oh no, this is the codex version. So yeah, I was like, this isn't really, I don't really care much about these numbers because artifacts, etc. Right? Speaking of numbers, I was gonna say these numbers are very high, but I saw they were level 10. So okay, so there's the basic, and we're gonna see the preview for it. So as you see, she does a lot of fast slashes, true to Haein in the series. So a lot of fast slashes with her, what, a rapier? Or, I'm not sure. So she does that, and then here's the core. Look at all those hits that she did there. That's epic. First skill. Sorry for the interruption. The pause, I had an interruption there. So that, oh, dude, Sword of Light looks so cool. The Dancer is her skill, okay. Or the core attacks. That's, or was the Dancer the basic? Was it the basic? Swift Sword, no, it was the skill 1, right? Sword Dance. The Dancer is skill 1. Okay. And the Sword of Light looks epic. Look at how big the sword is and how many slashes she's doing. The area of effect on this is going to be nice. Look at how wide this slash was, the horizontal. Look at, oh my god. That's going to be a monster to deal with. That's going to be a monster. And then do we have the preview for her other skills, her QTEs and stuff? We'll go back and check out her skills, but I wanted to see the previews first. Okay, Light Strike. This is her supporting Jinu. Okay, that's fair. And she's doing a brand and unrecoverable there. Here's her regular QTE. Oh my god! That was an epic QTE. I got to see it one more time. That was really cool. Was there like a light dragon below her? Like a... What it looks like a lightning based. It almost looks like Shenron right there, like his horns and stuff. That's kind of cool. That was kind of cool, man. That was kind of cool. And here's the ultimate, right? Yep. Here's the ultimate. Oh, dude, the horizontal slash there too is gonna be crazy for the area of effect. All right, let's see what the skill descriptions are. So let's go. So Haein, I already kind of talked about. This is kind of whatever. Just stage 1, stage 2, stage 3 deals light damage, light element character. Even things like the element on the characters is subject to change. We'll see what happens. Although I think she'll be light. Anyway, damage 16-29% of users attack, light element damage with the core attack, and then when the last attack hits, it inflicts airborne. Okay. And the first skill here. Says damage 474, cooldown is only 12 seconds, MP consumption only 66. Oh my goodness. When the user lands a critical hit, it applies the Waltz with the Sword effect. When the skill is used, it applies the Dancer effect. Okay, the skill is called the Dancer. So it's kind of weird to say it applies the Dancer effect. The skill is called the Dancer, but I assume in her passive there was another skill called the Dancer. Well, he didn't show the passive yet, so we'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, it applies the Waltz to the Dancer when she lands a critical, and what that does is it can be used, the Dancer can be used an infinite number of times while the effect is active. So she can use this skill repeatedly while that's going? Is that what that means? If she lands a crit, she can just spam the Dancer, right? Or is it the skill? We'll see. Or the passive, I mean. There's no scroll there, so we'll see what happens here. Light element damage knocks down the target when the last attack hits. Damage to the branded targets increases by 15%. Applies unrecoverable effects to targets when the last attack in the combo hits. So branded is a marking that she's placing on the opponent, literally like a branding. And I don't know if it has a visual effect, but it's basically just a debuff that makes them take. It increases her critical hit rate, damage, and critical hit rate and critical hit damage, I believe. So this is also making them just going to take more flat damage. So there's that. The knockdown, and then unrecoverable is also a heal blocking mechanic that's going to be like super good against opponents that are going to heal. Probably works extremely well against the Arachnid, for example, where they like to go in the sky and then come back down and heal all that garbage. Super annoying. Let's see the skill here, the QTE, or the support skill. So when she's with Sung Jinu, light element damage. When it hits, it does a knockdown, and then when it hits, it applies the unrecoverable and branding effects. So the branding is going to be nice. Actually, all this is nice, but the branding is going to be super nice for Sung Jinu because he's going to get a critical bonus. Yeah. Oh no. So this is just the debuff. So it's not a bonus to him. It's just the debuff. So it's to say it's kind of the same thing, but whatever. Increase critical hit rate and critical hit damage by 12% to targets hit by this skill. Like it's a debuff, but whatever, right? I guess it matters if an enemy is able to clear debuffs, which I don't think there is one in the game right now that can do that, right? Maybe, I'm not sure. Maybe there's some time that they do it that I'm not aware of, so let me know. Anyway, unrecoverable there as well too. She's just gonna be an insane support for him, which is again pretty cool to the series. All right, so QTE, this is when she's with the other hunters in hunter mode. 20-second cooldown, can activate on basically anything. Light damage, when it hits, it inflicts airborne. When it hits, it applies the branding again. So again, branding is the same effect here. Targets hit by the skill have the damage they take from critical hits and their chance of receiving critical hit damage increase. Dude, the verbiage is hilarious. So this is exactly what I was saying. This is how you know it's a data mine, because the same effect has two separate descriptions that mean the same thing, but they're worded differently. So the targets hit by the skill have damage they take, have the damage they take from criticals, and their chance of receiving critical hit damage increased. So yeah, basically it's the same thing. I think there's a middle ground because this one's still a little convoluted. The other one's not in depth enough. I think there's a middle ground. They have to get their language right, because even in the data mine, or not the data mine, but the news post, they said like hunter skill enhancements or something like that. And so I think that was all visual stuff, but to me, in my mind, that registers some sort of change that they're doing to the hunter skills on a like skill based level, not a visual level. Like the English it's kind of nitpicky, yeah, but the English can be better. So power gauge consumption 100%, obviously 45 cooldown, obviously. Light element damage does airborne, and then when attacking a target that has branded, increased damage by 30%. Oh my god. Oh, good lord, she's gonna just nuke them. She is going to nuke them. When the dancer hits, the user has a 66% chance to brand, so she doesn't even need to do brands from the other skills. Just by landing the dancer, she has a 2 in 3 chance to do a branding. So the hit targets critical hit rate and critical damage taken increased by 12%. Okay, increases the number with the first dupe, the max number of the dancer effect instances that can stack at once to 5 instances. So it's kind of weird how they keep saying the dancer here and there, like it's here, it's the name of the skill, and then there's also another effect where it's like dancer hits do this and that or trigger the effect of the dancer. It's kind of weird, right? So anyway, when the dancer hits, it does that, but also with the first one, it has an increase of the stacks. And the reason why that was relevant was because right here, the waltz of the sword effect means that it can be used an infinite number of times while the effect is active. So just kind of weird stuff here, but nonetheless, she's just going to be spamming the skill. Increases the user's critical hit rate by 10%. When attacking a branded target, increases the skill damage of the dancer and Sword of Light. So those are the two skills. Yeah, so with that third dupe, if they're branded, she's going to do extra damage by 40%. That fifth dupe is a crit hit damage increase. My God. What's this next one? Depending on the stack effects of the dancer, increase the damage of Light of End by 15%. It's getting a little convoluted, stacking up to 5 times. God damn. He is going to absolutely destroy. But the branding is actually super broken, because in hunter mode, your other characters are still going to crit more often. And her with Byung-gu is going to be amazing. She is going to shred in hunter mode. She's going to be shredding as a support for Jinwoo with the branding. The branding and unrecoverable for Jinwoo as a support is amazing. She is, oh my God. She is going to be disgusting. There was also a little TikTok video for her. It's very short, but you see her in action a little bit. Look at all the enemies she's sitting there. Yeah, so she, again, I assume she's coming out for the global launch, but she is going to be just terrifying. And once again, if you haven't already, be sure to hit that thumbs up on the video. Let's check out Alicia. She looks a little taller than I thought she would. It looks like a damn stretch. Those legs go all the way up. I shouldn't be talking. My girl's tall. My girl's like 5'10". I'm 6'4", but my girl's like 5'10", so we're both pretty tall. Our kids are tall. Our kids are very tall. But damn stretch. She just looks really long here. Anyway, so she is a water element character. Let's log back into solo leveling really quick. Actually, I need to go to the codex. I don't. Was there a sorting here? No, there's not. There's just weapon type, I guess, or whatever, but no element sorting. It's okay. It's not a big deal right now. Maybe there is that I'm not seeing. No, I'm not gonna dig for it. Anyway, these are the only 2 actual supports in the game. Wow. All right, so for water, we obviously could use another water element SSR hunter. We only have 1, so it's funny that the two that we're getting at the beginning of the game are original characters. Nam also gets confused for being an original character. She's not, but Ana Ruiz, I'm pretty sure, is. So there's that. They just got a bunch of original characters kind of all over the place, and what they've done is they've made side characters like Nam, who appears in like chapter 17 or something like that, just kind of randomly as a side character. They gave her a name and everything. So but that's funny. But as far as the other one, light element, that's okay too, because it's just like, I like Baek Yoon-ho. He's an amazing breaker, one of the best ones in the game, honestly, if not the best, but he's right up there. And then Byung-gu. So it's like light has some good SRs too. Kim Chul and Jin-ho are both really good. So Joe, I'm not sure about him. I haven't used him. But, like, you know, it's kind of cool. A third one coming from them is fine. But, you know, more so, Alicia has a little bit more leverage, I think, as a water hunter, where we didn't really have those. For example, when I take on Cerberus, I'm using 2 SRs. Or sometimes I'm doing things like using another character. So things like that. All right, so let's see what Alicia does. So if I remember correctly, she was doing a lot of freezing. She's a water hunter that has, like, ice-based powers. So there's that. Increases the user's core attack damage by 5%. When the ice body armor effect activates, increases the user and team members' water damage as well. Ooh. Her weapon is doing an increased damage for everybody. Oh, that's pretty broken. Okay. That's pretty great. I like it. I like it a lot. Do these weapon skill effects happen in player mode? I guess this one may not, because I'm not sure if you can get ice body armor in player mode, but it's kind of weird because 3/4 of the character's kits don't matter in player mode. I guess sometimes they will. Like if you're versus a boss on like a dungeon break, they will come out and do their own thing, right? So I guess it's kind of weird. Okay, so just stage 1, stage 2, same deal. We don't care about the basics. It is what it is. Let's just see what they look like. Does Twitter have a quality setting? They do, but it's already on 720 supposedly. Because my God. All right. Oh, that looked kind of cool though. Couple of hits and then an ice beam afterwards, right? That Pokemon. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, that looks kind of cool. Show me the core attack. Okay, that looks like it's gonna hit a lot of enemies. Yeah, see, piercing the multiple ice fragments. That looks like the core attack's gonna hit a lot of enemies. Look at the range on that. It's gonna hit a lot of enemies. I mean, directly in front of you. Maybe like 3 on average, something like that. Not a lot, but you know. Okay, so this attack here, 1284 of the user attack, 8-second cooldown. God damn. Water element damage. When the skill hits, it has a 30% chance to freeze the target. Whew. Yeah, freeze is broken as hell. When the user uses the skill, it applies the ice body armor effect to their entire team, their team members. So the ice body armor was something, if I remember correctly, was stacking a ton. So it was kind of weird. Let's watch the skill. It was a stacking mechanic. Oh, she dashes in and does a or an ice tornado thing, and it lasted for a decent amount of time too. Did that suck him in, or did she go to him completely? Yeah, she hit him a little bit and then knocked him into it. If it functions anyway like the black hole, on you know, like a black hole would, that would be really strong. He didn't scroll there. Damn it. He didn't scroll at all. So I know what freeze does, but I'm curious to see if it's like the Thetis Grimoire where they take extra damage when they're frozen. But, oh well, it's fine. I'm sure it'll probably be explained later. So, ooh, look at the range on that. That was a good pause. This one has a really short cooldown. Water element damage, when it hits, it does airborne. Doesn't really do anything else, so it's just an area of effect attack. Ooh, oh, man. The Sung Jinu support, same attack. Yeah, same, but that's going to be really good for him. Water element damage, airborne. When the first hit hits, it freezes. When the skill is used, it applies the ice body armor effect to Sung Jin Woo. I like saying woo, but it's ooh. Anyway, the skill interrupts the target. So yeah, that's just all it is. Freeze for 5 seconds. Okay. I was wondering if it was going to do extra damage, but that's fine. This one's a 3-second freeze on her QTE instead of the other one. Like Jinu's is a 5-second freeze. Alicia attacks enemy by creating an ice field that detonates, deals water element damage, airborne, and then freezes. Oh, that's pretty great. All right, so let's see her ultimate. Water element damage. Last attack hits, it does an airborne. When the last attack hits, it freezes. The skill applies 5 instances of frost effect to the user. Yeah, so like I was saying, she had a lot of stacking, if I remembered, and there it is. So her passive is kind of convoluted, but we'll see it in a moment. That's actually kind of cool. Okay. So here's Frost. When Eternal Frost, Winter Storm, or Ice Needle are used, those are her attacks, they apply the Frost effect to the user. So just get that in your head. When she's doing basically anything, she's going to give herself a Frost. So Frost means it activates her core attack change. The user's core attack changes to Bitter Cold Spear. So her core attack is no longer the way it was before. It changes. It's similar to CO, where her attacks get enhanced and they change a little bit. That's what's happening here. So when the user uses Bitter Cold Spear, it consumes a Frost stack up to 3 at once. So when she does use that new core attack, it'll use some of the instances of Frost. And then Bitter Cold Spear's damage increases by 80% per Frost instance that has been consumed, up to a 240%. So it took 3 off, so 8 times 3, 80 times 3, 240. There's that. And then infinite duration stacking up to 5 times. So basically, her skill changes, and then it peels off those stacks that the skill has, and however many it peels off, it increases the damage. When a shield is active, increases the user's critical hit rate and crit hit. Oh, so she's just made to be used with CO. Okay. I mean, that's not terribly surprising, obviously. But okay, if she's gonna if when shields are active, she's getting bonuses, then she's just gonna wreck. because CO is going to be extremely strong for her stuff here. Where's it at? Where is it at? Oh, it's this one, right? Shield. Yeah, applies a shield equal to that to the user. So yeah, we're gonna have the shields here. Actually, was she doing the shield to the entire team? I know she gives Jinnu a shield. Why does it say to the entire team here in player mode? I guess if it's one of the ones where they're all out there by themselves, right? I could have swore she gave a shield to the entire team. I'm not gonna dig for it. Oh, here it is. It applies shield to the entire team. So yeah, like I thought, she's just okay. So that's pretty straightforward. Not the craziest thing, but it makes sense. When a shield is active, increases the user's critical hit rate and damage by 16%. It would have been 10 times better if she gave this to CO. CO would have been cooking with this, but okay. And here's the first debuff. When Eternal Frost, Winter Storm, or her second passive, excuse me, from the enhanced advancements. When Eternal Frost, Winter Storm, or Ice Needle are used, applies an additional frost effect. The third dupe increases damage dealt to frozen targets by 30. Oh, so there it is. Okay. So there's the Thetis Grimoire. So Thetis Grimoire does this where they take extra damage if they're frozen. However, if you look at other water hunters that are characters that are doing freezes, that's not really in there most of the time. Like for example here, this is just a freeze, right? It doesn't say anything else about that. This is just a freeze. Again, doesn't say anything else about that. But if we come down here, it doesn't say anything else about that either. Increases the damage of that attack specifically. The freeze duration is increased here, but it doesn't really say anything about that. Unless I'm missing it somewhere with her, I'm not going to spend a ton of time on that. However, if we come over to the weapons and we look at the Grimoire, it is on there, which is one of the reasons that is super duper strong. One of the things that makes it really, really useful. So Cold Ice is what this is called. Instead of freeze, it's called Cold Ice. Okay. Increases damage dealt by 10%. Okay. So that effect, I assume, goes up. Yeah, by 24% with deep erosion. God dang. Oh my god. 50 down here. Yeah, so that's the main selling point of this weapon, aside from the utility of the freeze. All team members' water damage increases by 5% with the fourth dupe. Oh, they know what they're doing here. Applies the ice body armor effect to the entire team every 40 seconds. This effect remains active even when the user tags out. The ice body armor effect that was affected throughout this effect. The ice body armor effect that was affected throughout this effect additionally increases water damage. That's some really wonky English. I get what they're trying to say there, but that just can be polished. So it increases the water damage. All right. Again, I don't want to come off sounding like snarky or too critical. I just feel like it can be better. Somebody that's played too many mobile games, right? Increases the stats here. That's fine. But that's the fifth dupe. So like, yeah. So she's gonna absolutely cook. You know, in hindsight, it's funny, when I just read the kits, I thought Alicia was better. But reading them again, I actually think that, and probably because I have a little more info, I actually think that Cha is better, and I don't really know that it's particularly close. However, Alicia's going to be insane with dupes. She is going to be absolutely terrifying with dupes. She's going to do so much damage. She is going to do so much, especially if she's getting crits and stuff. Good lord. So the water team's kind of interesting. All the freezes she's doing too, like, I mean, that's just pretty crazy. So overall, I think they cooked with these two characters. What do you think?